Welcome back, everybody. We are at the first Thursday in Lent. Now, let me start off with reading. Okay. What is the meaning of the phrase, blessed are the poor in spirit? There is one reading of it that I particularly affect. St. Thomas quotes it as a thought of St. John Chrysostom's, and St. Francis de Sales too refers to it, and Cornelius a Lapide dwells on it with satisfaction. Here it is put briefly. Happy are the poor, as the Greek text says, the beggars in spirit. It is to say, happy those who realize, as St. Augustine reflects, that man is only a pauper before one supreme possessor. Happy is he who, filled with an infinite trust in a Father's goodness, looks upon himself as a son who is in want of all things, not having anything of his own, but possesses all through love, through the limitless tenderness of him who loves. Happy the Christian who has this self same feeling. He is a child who begs, it is true, but there is no disgrace in begging from a father, especially when that father is God. He is a child who begs, but that is what love means, to feel of no account before him whom one loves. He is a child who begs, all the better, for it is a quality of mendicancy that it can ask for anything, can beg, can knock, can return, can knock again, never taking a final refusal, gaining sometimes by instance what was at first refused. So the gospel says, not that the kingdom of heaven will be his, but that it is his who is poor in spirit, he who possesses the charm that can procure him grace and light and strength and the happiness that is a foretaste of celestial bliss. The dawn of its endless day. This is by Monsignor Landreau, and this last part from Thomas A. Kempis. The joy of the just is from God, and in God their rejoicing is of the truth. Now, let me get my notes. Blessed are, sorry. Blessed are the poor in spirit. That is to say, happy are those who realize that man is only a pauper before one supreme possessor. Let me again to reiterate. Um, all right. Um, this one's gonna have to get edited, huh? Maybe not. I don't know. A lot of dead space. But anyway, happy is he who, filled with an infinite trust in a father's goodness, looks upon himself as a son who is in want of all things, not having anything of his own, but possesses all through love, through the limitless tenderness of him who loves him. And again, to reiterate the last sentence, the joy of the just is from God, and in God, their rejoicing is of the truth. Um, so this chapter is very interesting to me because it goes deeper. I think I needed a little more help with trying to explain blessed are the poor in spirit. So I want to go deeper into this. And I looked in another book. Luckily, I was able to find something by Archbishop Fulton Sheen. Bishop Fulton Sheen or Archbishop? I'm not sure right now. But I read the book. It's a chapter apart in the book. It's a chapter called The Fourth Word from the book The Cross and the Beatitudes by Bishop Fulton Sheen, not Archbishop. See what he writes here. I wrote notes. Poor in spirit means interior detachments, and as such includes even some who are rich in the world's goods. The Beatitude means then, blessed are those who are not possessed. Sorry, guys. Who are not possessed by their possessions. Blessed are they who, whether or not they are poor, in fact, are poor in their most spirit. Um, being poor in spirit, in this case, choosing a life of poverty. I'll go into what I feel this means. But this reminds me of the spiritual fruit of the third joyous mystery, which is for us to choose poverty. And what's interesting, let me leave this here. What's interesting is now that we're in the second day of Lent, the first Thursday of Lent. It's a reminder again that we have to give up our worldly possessions. When we die, we're not taking any of our possessions with us, so it's not worth us anything to try to uh, take care or try to protect these things, be it wealth, be it your personal items, even be it your favorite pet. Like all those things are possessions, and they're all possessions that ultimately can control us. One thing that I would say um, is that it's easy to be controlled when you have quote something to lose, and that something to lose usually what controls man is his physical possession. So this reading, to be blessed, to be poor in spirit, is to be ready to sacrifice all things. Sometimes we're called to sacrifice little things, but maybe by God's grace, remember, most of the time, it's not a punishment from God, but most of the time, it's by His grace that we could join in the suffering of Christ. Remember, we ask for that all the time to try to join in our sufferings with Christ. It could lead to losing something big, whether it be our house, a vast majority of our wealth, even our loved ones. We could lose that. And it's very important to understand and to spiritually prepare yourself for that happening, and to remember never to blame God for this. We as Catholics should, again, to reiterate, we should be ready to lose these things. It sounds depressing. It sounds a bit blackpilling, but as I said, the Catholic faith is full of black pills. Unfortunately, I think a beauty of Catholicism is that it's seeing the beauty of the black pill of this stuff is not forever. This stuff can be taken from us tomorrow. It's like I think in the book of Job, as Job said, as the Lord giveth, the Lord taketh away. We have to be ready for that. We have to be ready for a loss. And, again, because this chapter is placed here, I believe, to just give us a reminder of the stuff that we're giving up, whatever your Lenten fast is, or whatever Lenten penance that you've done. It's just a reminder. It's just a little taste. That taste of pain that you feel, right? The pain of not having something, even yourself, and the pain of not being on social media or anything like that. It's just a small taste to get your body ready. I think if we deprive ourselves of certain things, this could be food, drink, social media. It could be whatever brings us pleasure. Giving that up, right, is making ourselves, forcing our bodies to feel some sort of suffering in the long run is good, because I believe it builds the endurance. Just like we build endurance, if you're a runner, if you've ever been an athlete, the most important thing about sports is endurance and how long you can handle this stuff. you know just like sports, our souls need to be exercised. We need to exercise our souls, and we have to give our souls some sort of taste of controlled suffering. And I feel personally that to a certain extent, this controlled suffering, be it through Lenten penance or through the weekly penance that I do of no meat on Fridays, maybe I'll add some more penance for the day. But anyway, these penance, these things, even 54-day novenas, where you pretend that it's Lent, like you act like it's Lent, you do something for 54 days, which is longer than Lent. It prepares our bodies, and most importantly, it prepares our soul to accept any kind of suffering, and again, to be ready at any moment to lose what's most valuable to us. So um, I think these lessons are important because it's a reiteration of a, a reiteration of our goal of the the central goal of Catholicism, which is to give ourselves up to God. And day by day, we have to do it. We're not perfect, but again, step by step. And hope you guys are hanging in there. That's all I have. It's a little shorter of an episode than the last ones. But anyway, I just want to know. I hope you guys are doing well for your Lent. I hope you guys are not didn't give up after a day. If you did, get back up there. But that's it. I'll be praying for you guys. I hope you guys pray for me and give a like, share. And like I said, we're in this together. So it's the road to Easter. Stay in there and God bless.